Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video will have two different parts wherein in the first part I will be explaining the working simulation of a vending machine, and in the second part I will be explaining the state diagram of a vending machine which was both constructed in MATLAB Simulink 2024A version. The prerequisites for this vending machine will be the coins that can be added to the vending machine will be 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin and 5 rupee coin. The vending machine supplies only one type of product that costs rupees 3. Also, the vending machine should consist a cancel block. So from the simulation you can see in front of your screen, I have added 3 constant blocks to represent 1 rupee, 2 rupee and 5 rupee coins. And then I have used manual switches and connected it to their respective constant blocks to allow users to select if they want to insert that coin or not. And then I have used an add block and connected it to the outputs of the 3 manual switches, which will output the total money inserted. This output is then connected to a display block which will display the total amount of money inserted. And then to introduce the logic of product dispense, I have connected the relational operator block's output to a switch block and then that to the display block, which will output 1 if the product is dispensed and 0 if no product is dispensed. Now to implement cancel button for a refund, I have inserted a push button and a constant block which resets the money to 0 and then a switch block which is connected to the push button output and display 1 if cancel was initiated and display 0 if a cancel was not initiated. Let us now summarize the connections. The start button enables the entire system. The toggle switches select coin inputs, the add block computes the total amount inserted, the relational operator block checks if enough money is inserted, switch block decides if the product is dispensed, the push button which is used for cancel resets the total money to 0 and refunds it. The display block show total money, products dispense status and refund. Now let us take a look at the output of the working simulation. Here I have turned on the switch for coins 1, 2 and 5, which means the total change inserted becomes 8. After running it, we can see that the return changes to 1, which means the machine will be giving a return change and the value for the return change is calculated below, which is 5 rupees. In the display to confirm product, it is displaying 1, which means dispensal of product is successful because ample amount of money was inserted. And the transaction cancelled is 0, meaning that the transaction was not cancelled. Now let us try changing the inputs. Here I am switching off the input of 1, which totals a 7. Now let us verify it by running. As we expected, the total change inserted has become 7 and the return change is 4 and the product has been successfully given to the user. And the transaction was not cancelled, so it still displays 0. Now checking for another input, I am switching off the input for rupees 2. Now only 5 rupees is inserted where the return changes 2 and the project has been successfully delivered to the user. Now for the next input, I am switching off the 5 rupees, which means no coin was inserted and the total change inserted changes to 0 and return change goes in negative, which means return change is 0, indicating no change has to be given to the user. And the product dispensal, it becomes 0, which means the product was not delivered to the user due to the insufficiency of money. In the next input, let me turn on the switch for only 1 rupees. That still displays the total change inserted is 2, return change is negative 2 and return change is 0, indicating no change was returned to the user and the product was not dispensed to the user. Now let us test for another input wherein I input 3 rupees in the form of 1 and 2 rupees. Here total change inserted becomes 0, return change becomes 0 and there is a positive number for return change. We can correct that by changing the relational operator block to return change only if it is strictly greater than 0. And as you can see on the screen, that is exactly what I'm doing. And now when we run it again, it gets corrected, and then the product has been successfully dispensed to the user. We can see that by the display of 1 in the display block. Now to cancel an order, we have to cancel it before transaction. Due to the fast calculation or running of the model in Simulink, I am not able to show it to you right now, but you can see the toggle of input from 0 to 1 whenever I press the cancel button. So that's all for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Have a nice day.